It's the Football Daft podcast with Ewen and Grado, and we're delighted to have with us, live in the studio with us today, two of my favourite people that I've known for such a long time. And I'm surprised that one of them is sat here with me today involved in a football show that he's touring Scotland with because he fucking can't stand football. We've got Neil Bratchpiece, one of the worst names ever in the world of show business.
What the fuck?
And we've got
Thanks, Ewan, one of the worst faces in show business. I'll see how you went into radio.
And we've got Chris Taylor as well, who are from Singing I'm No a Billy, He's a Tim 2, the sequel. Good to have you in with us, guys. For those of you who are wondering who Neil Bratchpiece is, you might know him better as the Wee Man. And I'm no surprised you've changed your name to the Wee Man, because Bratchpiece is some name, by the way.
Yeah, it's just, I think I'm the first person in show business to kind of hide their Jewishness by making up a stage name. I've not looked into it, but I'm pretty sure I'm quite unique in that way. Like.
Are you Jew?
He's Jewish. He's Jewish. He's Jew. You're asking if I'm Jewish. You just went, are you Jew? I feel I'm watching The Great Escape or something. What's happening?
I didn't realise you were Jewish.
I'm Jewish. Jewish, that's the right way.
Aye, but it's the age-old saying, you know, are you a Protestant Jew, are you a Catholic Jew?
You're joking, but you did ask me that one.
It does not surprise me.
Grado actually asked you that question.
He did, aye.
And what was your answer?
Are you a Protestant Jew?
I'm a Protestant Jew.
Before we get to Chris, because Chris has got quite a boring name in Chris Taylor, but you're Neil Bratchpiece. And when I first met you, I struggled to announce you when I was interviewing you on the telly. I didn't know how to say that name. Right. Have you found that throughout your career when you're being announced on stage doing stand-up, or that people struggle with your name?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a reason I call myself the Wee Man, which is easy to say and remember and spell. Like, it was a wee while ago, actually, I was hosting a gig up north somewhere, like Arbroath or something like that. And the poor lassie went on stage. I think we had a note in my name and said, please welcome to the stage Neil Ringpiece. Like that. So I just called myself Neil Ringpiece for the rest of the night. It's
you knew you then, now.
Yeah, exactly. That's my S&M name. That's for the dark web. That's what my name is there.
This is a Football Daft podcast, and it's weird having somebody on the programme who hates football with an absolute passion.
That's not true.
Well, it is. It's true. It's very true. And we'll get to that in just a second, but we've got to say hello to Chris Taylor. Hello, Chris.
How are you doing? You right?
You two are working together for the sequel to I'm Singing I'm No a Billy, He's a Tim. It's number 2, and it's a completely different show to the show that I loved.
It is. The two shows stand alone. Obviously, it carries on from the first one. The first one, that Billy and Tim, they make a bet. They're locked in prison, and they make a bet, and they talk about how you can tell if someone's a Hun or a Tim. Like, you can tell Grado's one. You know straight away, right? Like, you know, right? Leave your blueprint right there. No, and that's what they joke about. They joke about it because we're saying it that, and it's a joke, right? It's one of the lines in it that, our Rangers fans have all got wee fat necks and all that. No.
Well, I've got a big fat neck.
So that's because you love them even more, pal. So
I'm a bigger Rangers fan then. For that.
So this one follows on to that. They talk about its genetics, that you can tell if you're a Rangers fan or a Celtic fan. And funny enough, when I met Des Dillon, he's like, I met him in a chippy when I first went to kind of part of the show. I met him halfway in Girvan in a chippy, and I was skint. Sold my telly so I could get a car hire to go and meet him. Bought my chicken supper, believe it or not. So he thought I was loaded. So he told me, he was like, "You're Catholic?" I said, "No, I'm Protestant, mate." He's like, "No, you're a Catholic." I was like, "No, I'm Prod," but then I went to the job, so I went, I might be then, might be. Got up the road and says to my mum, "I did thought I'm Catholic." She went, "Yeah, your grand's a Catholic, but your Papa was a Prod," so she just gave it up and went to Prod to keep him happy. So you can tell. So it's all about genetics, and they say that you can tell.
So you are actually Catholic?
I'm Catholic, aye, apparently.
Right.
Aye, so I was Prod brought up all life.
Well, you know, brought up a Rangers fan anyway.
Well, we'll get to this. I knew you'd be fucking quick to say that.
I said you said that. I'll bring that up. You were a Rangers fan at primary school.
No. We'll get to that. So they make a bet in the second one to see. They swap shots to see who can last the longest in each other's end. All right. And somebody scores and they both get a doing. So they end up in Hampden treatment room and they're locked in there for 90 minutes. So it's similar to the first one, that they're both locked in an enclosed space.
Right.
And you've got the nurse who's from Poland, who's trying to keep them to shut the fuck up all the time. And then you've got this ghost who appears on a mission for God, and he's got to get two bigots to give up sectarianism, or the guy that's been stabbed outside the ground dies. Right? So,
Great story. Good fun.
And as soon as we find out somebody's been stabbed, the first thing Billy and Tim say at the same time is, what side? And it's like, why the fuck should that matter?
Yeah,
why should that even matter? So there is a big message. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever been involved with. It's just farce, but then right at the end we smash you with a punch in the heart. And we've had standing ovations every night. We've had grown. We were in Bathgate, right? And I looked down, and there's this big guy, and Ulster tattoos, the lot, shaved head, laughing in the front row when we're doing this really emotional bit. And I'm thinking, I'm fucking raging at that. And then I look closer. He was sobbing. Really? He was actually sobbing into his shirt, crying. Aye. So there's a lot of the folk come after it and say, oh, we're just a 90-minute bigot. And all that, and it's opening a lot of eyes. I mean, it's never going to fucking cure sectarianism or anything like that, but it gets folk thinking.
But it gets people talking.
Aye,
and that's what I've heard. I've yet to see the show, but what I've heard is it's got people talking.
Aye.
And because there is a message in amongst the comedy, and there is, as you say, that big punch that kind of gets you towards the end of the show.
It really does. It makes you kind of have a look at yourself, even doing it. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all...
Night after night, when you do it, you still feel it.
You still feel it. It's the most amazing feeling coming off, and people coming up after you and cuddling you, and seeing Rangers and Celtic fans kind of having a go at each other at the start, some banter, but then leaving, chatting away to each other.
Yeah.
It's an amazing...
Do you ever need to go, right, calm down?
Well, no, but we had one night at a theatre, right? And I'll no mention the theatre, right? But it was the outskirts of Glasgow, and Neil's coming on. I'll let you tell him what you said, but first act was amazing. Boom. You know, what is it you call it in wrestling? You feel the heat.
Aye, good.
Good. Amazing, mate. So we went off the interval buzzing, came back on, and then you just hear a wee bit of...
Something's going on.
Something's going on, but then it got bigger and bigger. Neil's doing this monologue, so Neil... we couldn't get through the show, and the audience would get around, so Neil...
I had to turn into this wee group and go like, fuck up, I'm monologuing here. It's no Hamlet, but you still need to listen, you cunt.
So then everyone's clapping, and then it went quiet, and then again it kicked off, but then this guy eventually gets kicked out. And what had happened was, apparently, they were loving the show. It was nothing to do with the fitba. Some guy's trying to get back into his seat in the interval. He spilt a tiny bit of his drink on this lassie's new top, right? Pre-marked top, right? So she starts nipping at him, and he's like, going to shut the fuck up, there's a show on, but she won't shut up. So he's went through to the bar, and he's got a full pint. He sat down and went there, fucking moaning about that. And he's
Really?
Chucked it all over her.
all over her. Aye, so then she's get launched out. So then we just crack on. But I was so proud, man. The cast just cracked on with it.
Well, that could happen anywhere, do you know what I mean? That could happen at Hamlet. You know what I mean?
Good. It's nothing to do with the fitba. It was just to do with...
Just people having a good time and too much to drink.
Saturday night.
I mean, I presume this will go back on the road at some other point.
It's going down that way. We've got other theatres approaching us, and we're going to go back out again March, April.
Oh, is that how it works? So then theatres go, right, I want a bit of this.
Has the Pavilion taken it yet?
No, it won't be going to the Pavilion this time around. The Pavilion's doing a lot of their own kind of football shows that I think they've been really successful.
Right, yeah.
So I think they'll be kind of...
Grado knows about that.
We're in one of them, you know. So, no, I mean, you never say never if it was something they wanted, but obviously we're looking to get into a bigger venue now.
Because word is out there.
Aye, and it's been selling out. I think these days people don't want to go and see something unless they see a trailer for it. You don't want to waste your money, especially a sequel.
Yeah.
So it's that. I had that second album syndrome and I wasn't even involved in the fucking first one. Do you know what I mean? So it was, but it's been going great. We have directed it this time round. We got a lot of laughs the last time, and it wasn't just about the laughs, so we've rejigged it a bit. Dez's writing's phenomenal, and now we got a punch at the end, so it's definitely getting folk talking.
And Neil, you are not a football fan, as I've already alluded to. You can't stand football. The first thing you said to me when we got in here to do the podcast was, don't ask me about football. I'm no interested in football, but here you are involved in what is...
Football.
It's a football show.
He's got good stories he's got some stories that some football fans would have loved to have happened to him. Who's nutmegged you?
Shellsuit Bob.
Right.
Nah, I mean, like, I'm not a football fan, but I wouldn't say, like, I can't stand it. I'm not one of these people that, like, I detest its existence or anything like that. Like,
right.
I used to be... I was a big football fan when I was a kid, and then I kind of grew it. I don't
So you're a big football fan as a kid. Who were you a fan of?
I'm a Motherwell fan still. I was brought up in Motherwell, so I still, you know what I mean? I follow them on Twitter. That counts as a Motherwell fan. I keep up to date with them. Fourth in the league, they're fourth.
The big question is, do they follow you back?
They fucking don't. I would like to make that known that I'm quite upset with that.
You did a half-time draw or something like that, come on.
They don't even ask you for the half-time draw. Nah. They don't even follow you on Twitter. That's a disgrace.
I think it's time to go to Hamilton, New Hamilton Park. You didn't know that they're rivals, eh?
I know that much.
Who's the manager at Motherwell just now?
Oh, that'll be your... think it's that's Alex Ferguson.
Close.
One of them, innit?
I'll tell you who it is. Right?
Jonathan Watson plays him in that thing. With
It's the name of a diluting juice.
Oh, big Jose Quiora. Okay, and he's done well, by the way. See with the young team that's coming up. See with the young team that's coming up, big Quiora, man. Some say he's too orangey for Crows, but I disagree, man.
Were you there the last time they won a cup?
I was there at 1991.
Aye, was it?
Well done.
Was Cooper still playing with Motherwell? Was he playing at that time? No.
I think he was. 3-2 against
Are
Dundee
you
United.
educating
Yes.
Grado on
I
football?
know.
Yes.
Motherwell up to about 1992 or 3. I can tell you
Really?
stuff. Aye.
When I think
Days of Tommy Coyne and all that. I was a fan.
there you
man.
go.
Oh, hey, do
Aye.
you know what? Saying that when I was in 1995, when I went with my mum and dad to Magaluf and Hotel Samos, the Motherwell players were there on their holidays. So I was with Willie Faulkner, Brian Martin put me in the pool, Owen Coyle was there.
Brian Martin put you in the pool.
flung me in the pool.
He flung you in the pool.
Were you Denny's Nutton?
What?
Were you Denny's Nutton?
Of course.
How old were you?
I was about 8, man.
And he chucked you in the pool.
Aye, I wasn't as big as I was what I'm on now. You know what I mean?
If I starts picking up an 8-year-old stranger and throwing you in
Aye,
the pool.
when you think about it.
You think about it, aye. Bit off. So I'm surprised at your knowledge of Motherwell. So
Up to a point,
kudos to you, my friend.
Thanks.
And there is a message to Motherwell Football Club or anyone from Motherwell who listens to this show. Go and follow the wee man.
That wee man, at that wee man on Twitter.
At that wee
Get
man
him on
Twitter.
at half-time
Half-time draw, aye.
Or even like, film something with the players to G them up.
Or let you be the mascot for 1 week only.
Aye. Who is the mascot of Motherwell? Can you tell us that? Is it fucking Amber the fucking Amber the traffic light or something like that?
Amber the traffic light.
Claret the bottle of tonic. Like. It should be claret the bottle of tonic.
What's the Motherwell
Oh, but a
mascot?
steel hammer or something? No, the steel man.
Aye,
No.
maybe.
Let's
That's
Google
no.
it. What is- Do you know what it is?
I'm thinking there's like a big bear. Not a teddy bear, clearly, because that's Rangers, but I can see like a bear. A fox? Is it a fox?
No, that's Leicester.
No, this
Oh,
is,
hey, you might be right.
it's an animal.
What is that? No, it looks like something for Toy Story. Or is it Buzz Lightyear?
Oh, what is that?
Right, I would never have guessed that
No,
one.
you never guess
What's
that.
the name of that?
Its name is Steelman.
far off.
Steelman.
You weren't far off.
Steelman.
It looks good though.
Yeah.
Quite, the kids, you can see the kids
Look
loving
at
that mascot.
Actually, they've actually put in a wee bit. That's actually.
Oh, it's like a superhero.
It's not as if it's a wee snidey one for the most store. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, no, I like that. It's a proper superhero costume. So now know that Neil, Motherwell fan up until 1992, right, and then it stops because he knows nothing about the club now. Let's move on to Chris, who you kind of hinted at earlier that you grew up as a Rangers fan, or you were a Rangers fan.
Well, my whole family. So I'm obviously Protestant. Went to a Protestant school and brought up just loving football. My dad was an Ayr United fan. All my uncle Andy, my cousins Mark and Andy, they were massive Rangers fans. So I remember watching. Like, I'm going to lose Twitter followers for this. I know it, right? But anyway, I've only got 5. But so I loved watching football. So I would go to Ayr United. I've never been to Ibrox to watch a game, but my family watching. I remember watching the Mark Hateley scoring against Marseille. With that diving header back in the European Cup games when they were playing, I think, Marseille, AC Milan and
Leeds and all that.
Leeds.
kind
Aye,
of-
they beat
That's right,
Leeds. So, and that was when I first realised that I loved football. So I would always, at family gatherings, they would always be watching Rangers and that. And I'd never really kind of said either way. So I was always getting pelters for it. So it was just one day and I changed. Not changed, but I just said I'm Celtic. I read up and all the history and I loved it. I
Was
like
it
being
not a
different.
game? Was it not a game you went
We'd,
to?
we'd watch the game.
Like, I mean,
and,
in person. Like, did you,
Aye. No, I looked up in the history first, and then I went to a game. I can't even mind who we were playing. No idea. It was
Some
years
other
and
team?
years ago. Some other team, mate. I think it was a pre-season. I think it might have been Man City or something.
Aye.
It was that many years and years ago, before Man City had money. And that was it. And ever since, I've just been kind of hooked. And I get pelters for it all the time. Do you know what I mean? I was a Celtic supporting prod. Do you know what I mean? So growing up, it was quite... I wouldn't say tough. I like being different. I like taking the pelters, but like yourself, mate.
Aye.
Do you know, you like putting
You
myself on the
don't
line for
like
it.
taking the pelters.
Right, okay.
He doesn't like taking pelters.
How, do you
We-
know
I
this?
spat the
Well,
dummy.
we
All
fell
right.
out for about 2 days during Panto last
Good.
year.
Massively.
Because Rangers beat Celtic.
Right, so...
And I mean, proper spat the dummy.
and I
Don't
did-
get me wrong,
I'll
he
admit
goes
it.
back by don't get me wrong, he eventually goes back because Celtic eventually won the league.
Aye.
And we were, you know, we'd signed, I think we won.
It was the Defoe. It was when
Aye,
we signed Defoe.
and he was slamming doors. And,
In my defence, right?
and we were like, Chris, calm down. Oh, we're still winning the league, we're still winning. Fine.
I think I still
Literally,
get
spat dummy.
texts.
We've got texts, man, nah.
He was
and
like-
it was like, fucking well, we were like, you know that way it was banter, but it was
was it-
bordering on
It was
personal
bord-
insults.
It was, It was bordering on. So I went out the theatre.
Was it tension within
Aye.
the dressing rooms?
Mega,
It was
mega.
So what had happened was, and I knew it was going to happen, we'd been beating them quite, as you can say, convinced.
12 games.
Up until then, right? And then I thought, the first time they're going to beat us, I guarantee it's going to be Stevie Purden and Grado, two of the most well-known Rangers fans, and I can't handle it if we lose. And they're there. So I'm coming off, right? I'm coming off stage. They've been watching.
Because we
the
still
dressing
didn't know
room.
the...
I didn't know the score, right? I had to go on. And I'm coming off, they know the result, and I'm coming off, and Grado and Stevie Purden's dressed as birds, right? You know that. Okay, get out. And then just come on, hello, boys and girls. You know what I mean? And I'm doing the dressing room, but that wasn't when I snapped. That was close. They signed Defoe, and obviously at the time I was in my head going, what a signing. I wasn't going to tell them that. So I'm like, he's too old, mate, and they're like, too fucking old. You know what they're like? The two of them, I'll put me, do you know what I mean? It was a nightmare. So I snapped, and he's sending me text going, your tears are as sweet as Manuka honey. Do you like that?
I don't remember that, but that's brilliant. Because we all used Manuka honey at panel for my throats.
I was borderline, but for a couple of days it was tense, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, aye.
It was
It
tense.
was.
But I spat the dummy, and I'll admit it, just
Aye.
like...
Aye.
But what I will say, mind that time Hibs beat you and we were in Wagamama. I'm sat with Stevie
Oh,
and
aye, I
and
was
Hibs
crap
beat
at
them
that
last
day.
minute. And it was one of them, I'm just stuck with them and I didn't want to go. So
Aye,
I
that
just-
was, we
I
were...
stuck my head right down and I never said nothing. So it annoyed me more when they won. They were right at me. But hey,
But then,
it's all
that's
fun
just
and games.
what it's all about, do you know what I mean?
It's about the banter at the end of the day, isn't it?
That's it, exactly.
And you leave at the door after a couple of days.
That's
and-
it.
Yeah.
Aye, after a couple of days we're back fucking...
Couple of months for alright.
But, I mean, because Neil, who's sat in the middle of you two, and there's a reason for that, because you two fucking fall out all the time. Neil is a neutral in this debate when it comes to Celtic and Rangers, and it is a two-horse race for the championship. Who do you think will win the title with your footballing knowledge of the
Aye, that's
season?
interesting.
So bear in mind you've got to wrestle him again and bear in mind you're working for me.
So, obviously, Neil, you've been keeping up to date with what's happening this season and how things are going. And who is top of the league just now?
Celtic.
By how many points?
4.
Three. Close.
Well, it was close enough.
So, who's winning the league, Neil?
Hearts, you and I.
You're just not answering the question, are you, Neil? Neil, you're not answering the question, man. I'm just going to keep fucking asking until you give me an
I
answer.
think towards the end of this season, Celtic and Rangers are going to solve their differences and combine into one super team, like in Power
Wow.
Rangers.
So
After watching the show?
Yeah, no,
Aye,
exactly.
aye.
They're going to come to see Billy and Tim too, and they'll go, what's all these differences are about? And then they'll form like Voltron, and
So that-
and
so
they'll
that's-
win.
So, do you know what
Punch
you've...
at the end of the show is going to have big effect.
Exactly.
So, do you know what you've
That's
just
it.
done there? You've actually made a bigger poo-poo by suggesting that Celtic and Rangers combine as one super club,
Yeah.
leaving all their traditions and history behind,
Yeah.
instead of choosing which one will win the league.
Yeah, totally. They're just going to kind of combine blue and green and mix into a nice earthy brown. Telling you, I have solved hundreds of years of sectarianism right in this podcast today. I can't believe nobody's ever thought of
So
it.
basically, you're saying...
It took a non-football fan to come in and think about this.
So
didn't it?
what you're suggesting here today, Neil, is that Celtic and Rangers at the end of the season should come together as one football club,
Aye.
combine blue and green together to
Yeah.
make an earthy brown. So they're going to be running around in a strip that looks like shit.
Yep.
And they're a super club.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just, I think it's
Are
daft.
you hearing what you're saying?
I think it's silly, all this, like, Protestant versus Catholic thing. When are folk going to accept that you aren't as good as Jews?
And you know what? I think we might just end that right there. Perfect stuff. Before we go, guys, I need to see your show, and I know we'll be back on the
know, I
road
wanna
again.
go.
But you've only got 5 shows to go. Where are you performing
5
again?
shows we are performing with.
Remember this goes out remember this is Thursday.
It's goes out on Thursday, so we will be on Thursday. We'll be in Arbroath on Friday. We'll be Johnson Town Hall, and then Saturday, Sunday, East Kilbride Village Theatre. And we've got Gary Morrison as Billy and Zosha Zakolowicz as the nurse, because I know you didn't want to say that name off the sheet.
Struggled with Bratchpiece. So.
Neil, Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Great fun,
Thanks so much for
Honestly,
coming in,
good luck
and good
with
luck
the
with the
show.
show.
Aye,
Cheers,
good
guys.
luck.
Cheers, guys.